It's Summerween, and I've got books to read.
My little Milky Way, shining where the dark can't stay. Don't say much, I hear you in the quiet and you.
Hi, hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Lily, and this is Lily in the Library. So today's episode is going to be like a 48-hour challenge of Summerween because things have been happening, and I have not been able to take part in Summerween for like the last year. I don't even think I did Winterween, and then I got a delayed start this year. If you've seen my Instagram, you know I'm definitely trying to catch up on posts. So, with all that said, I have a very short TBR for this year's Summerween because I'm probably only going to be reading today, Wednesday, July 8th. Is today the 8th? Yeah, today the 8th. And tomorrow, Thursday, July 9th. Hopefully this video will be up on the 10th. Tomorrow's going to be an interesting day because tomorrow the Big Brother premiere is live, which means I will need to be done reading by like 7-ish so that I can get myself prepared. I think. I have to find out when the premiere is, either 7 or 8. So we're basically doing like less than 48 hours here to read 3 books. 3. It's hard for me to show you because one of them is a manga. Technically, I only have 2 books that I'm prioritizing for this challenge because with these 2 books, they answer every prompt. So, of course, I have the latest volume of The Summer Hikaru Died, Volume 7. This is where I am now. Volume 8 has not been published yet. I'm sad about it because now I will be all caught up. But obviously this is volume 7, so I'm not going to be able to give too much away for this specific volume once I finish it. But I will say that this story has been very interesting thus far. It's about 2 friends. So we have Hikaru and Yoshiki, and they are friends. And one day Hikaru comes back from the woods, and he is not Hikaru. Yoshiki knows right away. And so we are just following all of the shenanigans and things that have been going on, the weird, and there I mean weird things that have been going on since Hikaru came back from the woods. Highly recommend it. It's definitely a darker, more horror manga. The art style is amazing. Love it, love it, love it, love it. I have been loving this story. Very sad that I'm not going to be caught up. The other book on my priorities is The Starving Saints by Caitlin Starling. This came out last year, I think, and I have really been wanting to pick it up. I wanted to pick it up last year, but unfortunately during that time we were preparing to move house. And so I wanted to make sure I was in the right place to enjoy this book because I have heard some mixed reviews about it. So I definitely want to give it my full attention. When I saw that one of the prompts for Summer Rain was to have pink on the cover, I already knew this was the book I was going to pick. The naked hardback is also pink. It is a stunning edition. Absolutely love this edition. So I hope that I'm going to have a grand old time with this one, and looking forward to knocking something off of my physical TBR. And then I also have House of Bone and Rain. This is not necessarily a priority, so if I don't finish this one, no big deal. It's also a library book. I just wanted to add one more little thriller in there so that if I finish the other 2 books, I have something else I can read, and my prompts are all very well rounded out. I am very excited to read all 3 of these books, but this one is the lowest priority, I guess. Not to say that I'm not excited for it, because I am, but it's just if I don't get to it, it is what it is. The other 2 I really want to get to, and I am positive without a doubt that I'll finish The Summer Hikaru Died very quickly. So these are the 3 books that I'm hoping to read for Summerween, and I'm going to take you along with me, do a little bit of b-roll here and there, update you as I've read each book, at least the first 2. Like I said, we'll see if we get to the House of Bones and Rain. But that's going to do it for now, and I will check in after. Probably I'm going to read The Summer Hikaru Died first, and then I'll just check in with you at the end of it and let you know what I thought of it going into The Starving Saints. Okay, like I said, I am back to update you guys on my Summerween reads. Funny enough, though, because I was looking at where I need to be to catch up on my Instagram posts, And I realized that this actually isn't until the 10th, which is what I had originally thought. It's only until the 9th, which is tomorrow. I'm sorry if you can hear my cats playing in the background. They are exploring a new box. So, this is going to be another fail because there's no freaking way that I'm going to even finish The Starving Saints by tomorrow in time to edit all of this and post. There's just no way because I'm not even halfway through that book. So let me update you really quick because I did finish The Summer Hikaru Died Volume 7. We are 7 books deep into this manga, so I can't give too much away, but it is crazy. This was so crazy. And the fact that now I'm all caught up and I'm going to have to wait until it's time for this to be published in the US. What am I doing to myself? I'm like torturing myself with this kind of stuff. But 5 stars. Easy. It was an easy 5 star for me. This was so good and so crazy. Such a good read. I feel like this is the perfect Summerween read too. It also like checked off so many of the prompts because I read it in the dark. It's less than 250 pages. I'm sure there are other ones. I'll put the graphic on the screen so that I can mark off what I've done. So at least I've ticked those things off. And like I said, I probably will get everything ticked off with just the 2 books because with The Starving Saints, this has pink on the cover. This is a new to me author. I've never read anything by Caitlin Starling before. This is my first read from her. So far, I really don't know what I'm feeling about this book. I think I'm like 12 chapters in, so I'm pretty sure I'm less than 50% of the way through the book, and I am not loving my time. It's very slow. It's very like there's a few things that have happened, but nothing's really going on. So far, I've only been listening to it. I haven't immersively read it yet. I'm hoping tomorrow I'll have time to immersively read, if not for like maybe an hour. So it's 11:30 at night right now. So I'm probably not going to do any more reading tonight. But it's also a million degrees, so I might end up staying up later. Who knows? But so far, I just don't know. I'm not loving this. And I kind of want to DNF it, but I'm also kind of curious. So we're going to keep reading, we're going to keep tracking through and see how it goes. This vlog I had initially planned to finish tomorrow, edit, and then put up on Friday. If I can get this book finished by tomorrow, get this vlog edited, it'll be super short. I think there's going to be like 0 B-roll. I will definitely try to upload this tomorrow. If not, it's just going to go up on Friday as I planned, and I'm going to try and read the last book, and we're just going to take the fail as it comes. Also, my neighbor, if you see me like looking, I'm looking out my front window and it's 11:30 at night and my neighbor keeps turning on and off his garage light. It's weird. It's like, do you have it on a timer? Or are you out there turning the switch on and off? Anyway, things I think about, things I get distracted about. But yeah, so as it stands right now, I can't see myself giving this more than 3 stars. I honestly can't even tell you what's happening. There's a mad woman and she's trying to figure out how to make food appear, basically, because these people are starving. Let's see what the synopsis says. It says, a transfixing fever dream of medieval horror from the nationally best-selling author of The Luminous Dead and the Death of Jane Lawrence. Aymer Castle has been under siege for 6 months. Food is running low, and there has been no sign of rescue. But just as the survivors consider deliberately thinning their number, the castle stores are replenished, the sick are healed, and the divine figures of the Constant Lady and her saints have arrived, despite the barricaded gates offering succor in return for devotion. Soon, the entire castle is under the sway of their saviors, partaking in intoxicating feasts of terrible origin. The war hero Servoin gives her allegiance to the Constant Lady. Focine, a disorganized, paranoid nun turned sorceress, races to unravel the mystery of these new visitors and exonerate her experiments as their source. And in the bowels of the castle, a serving girl, Trilla, is torn between her thirst for a secret vengeance and the desperate need to escape the horrors that are unfolding within Amer's walls. The castle descends into bacchanalian madness, forgetting the massed army beyond its walls in favor of hedonistic ecstasy. These three women are the only ones to still see their situation for what it is, but they are not immune to the temptations of the castle's new masters, or each other, and their shifting alliances and entangled paths bring violence to the surface. Saving the castle and themselves will take a reimagining of who they are and a reorganization of the very world itself. So, from what I can gather from the beginning of this book, they are, like the synopsis says, they are held up in a castle. They are like in some kind of battle or standoff or something because there is a army outside of their gates, and the army is basically waiting them out because they're going to have resupply come. They're going to be getting food and supplies and, whatever else they need. Well, the people in the castle are straight up going to be dying. At the beginning, there's like a tally done of how much food there is, and the castle is actually only supposed to hold like 300, and she says that the castle is currently holding 3 times that amount, and so the food is going to be running out very quickly. The not like I said, Forcine or whatever her name is, the nun slash mad woman. I forget what they refer to her as. It's like mad lady or mad woman, something like that in the book. She has been tasked with making the water clean and making food appear out of nothing. So she has already figured out a way to make the water clean. Because what was happening was they're getting it from a cistern, but the water was okay at first, and then it started to like smell foul and it tasted terrible, and it was like doing it, basically poisoning the people. So she figured out a way to clean the water, and I've just come to the part where she basically feels like it was just kind of luck that she happened upon the cure, or she's using she's using powdered rat poop to clean the water amongst, this is like part of the concoction, but that's like, anyway, the king has come because she's been taking an awfully long time to make this food magically appear, and he's like not having it. So he sends one of his, like, not necessarily his right hand man, because that's a different guy, but he sends like one of his trusted people, and she's gonna be guarding her, and it's a whole thing because they're basically like trying to figure out what is taking so long. Like, girl, come on, we are hungry. Where is the food? So they're trying to figure out what's taking so long, and the whole time she's just like, I don't. How do you want me to make this food appear? Like, how magic, prayer, like. Anyway, so now she's got her little guard, and like already I kind of felt like Loki, there was a little bit of tension, which I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Let's have a little weird love thing. I don't know. Give me something. That's the thing. Like, this book is really not giving me anything. There was almost like a little overthrow, a little revolt, and our main girl chilled everyone the fuck out, got them to calm down. But, they're all locked up in this castle. They are hungry, probably bored because they cannot go and just do shit. Way overcrowded because there's a million freaking people in this castle. And then they can see the other people outside of the castle walls. So it's just like, there's a lot of fear, I'm sure. And I'm just like, I haven't even read all of the synopsis. Like, that was the first time I've read the synopsis for this book, and I haven't even gotten to like past the synopsis in the reading of this book. Like that, and I swear to you, I'm at least like 30 to 40% of the way. So I'm just a little worried now that I'm not gonna like it. And then they did touch on a little bit about like the honey and something like there's a little bit of a mystery there. I don't know. It's a lot of talking, a lot of telling, and not a lot of showing, which is not my favorite way to consume a story. So I'm really hoping that something and like it's also putting me to sleep. While I was listening to it while I'm cooking dinner and I'm just like I could go for a nap right now. So we'll see. We shall see. That's gonna do it for this little update. So far for this vlog, I've read one book. Probably only gonna read two books. Depends on how long it takes me to finish. It's like I want so badly to DNF this book, but if I DNF it, then it doesn't count. And I don't have any other books with pink on the cover that's like a thriller or a horror, at least not that I can think of right now. So, and that's relatively short, although this is a lot longer than I thought it was. So I'm going to try and get that done. Hopefully we can get this all edited by tomorrow and I can put it up tomorrow and then, watch my brand new season of Big Brother. I know I already said this, but I'm going to call it there for this update. I'm probably going to go to bed and I'll see you guys tomorrow when I've got something to update. Today is the final day of Summerween, and I am not even done with the second book. So I am just, according to the audiobook, I am just under 50%. I have another 7 hours on like regular. I'm listening to it right now on 1.5. I could speed it up to like 1.75 or even 2, but because I've been like doing tasks and things while I've been listening to this book, I have left it at 1.5, which is probably both hurting me and helping me because like I said, the narration is pretty slow, but at the same time, because there's so much being explained, I need a little bit slower so that I can actually hear everything that's being said like in its entirety. Sometimes my brain does not want, like, if I'm reading it with my eyeballs and listening to it, I could easily probably listen to this on 2.5 or 3. But I don't know, it's just I feel like this book is so dense in the way that like there's so much description happening and little intrigues and little interactions that literally, if you don't pay attention to it every second, you will probably miss something. Although I will say there have been times where I felt like I missed something. No, I didn't. It's just some things are not making sense. Let me remind you, I am not even to the 50% mark yet. I am 160 something pages into this book, and I have finally just now gotten to the point where the saints come in to, oh my god, when the saints go marching in, oh, they are marching. The saints have come in and they're like, they've brought food. Um, they're feeding the people. Feeding. Anyway, so they're finally here. They finally showed up. They're like, hey, how's it going, girl? Cool, 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 cool. This is our castle now. Like, and there's even a part where I'll get to that. There's even a part where the narrator says something about how when you feed someone, when you are the person who is allowing yourself to be fed or taken care of by another, especially in their home, you're breaking bread. There is a bond formed. And usually it's more of like a spiritual, metaphorical bond. But in this case, it is a more tangible, physical world bond. So that was interesting. I think something that this, especially the audiobook, does a disservice to is there is no difference in when anyone is talking. I don't mean having dialogue. I mean the narration. So it's kind of hard. I feel like we're being narrated from each of the characters. So we have I cannot pronounce these characters' names. We have like Forsyth or whatever the hell her name is, which is the mad woman. Then we have Sir, I want to say Sir Valor, but that's definitely not the name. And that is the knight that has been tasked to watch over the mad woman. And then we have the girl, the servant girl, which her name starts with a T. I have heard them pronounce it so many times, and I cannot make my mouth make those words. So we're just going to call her Girl T. These are the three main characters that we are being told the story from, and yet it's so hard to find when the perspective switches because there's nothing to demarcate that in the audiobook. There's also nothing to demarcate that in the physical book because it's not like the chapter starts with, the person's name or there's any kind of break or anything like there's nothing. There is nothing. So this is almost like a stream of consciousness with chapter breaks. It is monotonous. It drones on. I want to stop reading this book, but at this point, I do want to know if there's more to the story. Like, okay, we're getting the food and, the lady, whatever her name is, they literally refer to her as the lady. I want to know if our characters are going to get out, so it has that going for it, but it is taking so long. This book, I think, is 300 something pages long, maybe 400. Cut it in half. Cut it in half. There's so much happening. Like, there's so much words. There are so many words being given to us. We could have cut it down. We could have cut so much of this down. And it's not even like it's this detailed description. Like, don't get me wrong. I can very easily picture the castle and, what's going on and all of that. And yes, a lot of that is due to the descriptions. The descriptions are good, but it's enough. It's very frustrating to me because there's so many pages and pages and pages where just nothing is happening. And I just want to know what's going to happen. And now that I'm almost 50% of the way, I'm going to finish it now. And what I do know is this book is sitting at a 3-star. I would be shocked if I give it a 3-star. I would be shocked because I don't think it's going to get any higher than that unless something wild and crazy comes in and redeems this book. It's going to be a solid 3, but I have a feeling that it's going to be unsatisfying, and I'm probably going to end up giving this book a 2 or 2.5. And I'm kind of annoyed, but at the same time, I just want to finish this book because I do want to know what's going on. I'll give it the rest of the chance. I'm going into it now, into the second half of the book. I'm annoyed because of how long it's taken us to literally get through the synopsis. 50% of the book, almost 200 pages in, and we've just passed the end of the synopsis. This is all shit that I knew was going to happen halfway through the book. All shit I'm expecting to happen. I'm anticipating, I'm waiting on. And we're halfway through the book. That does not make me happy. So I'm going to try and finish it up. Something else that's also keeping me hanging on is like these tiny little nuggets of like something funny or really creepy, unsettling happening. And I'm just hoping that that's going to be happening more frequently. But I gotta be honest with you, not loving my time. And I am upset because this book is so beautiful. I showed it to you yesterday at the hardback, the naked hardcover. It is so beautiful. I absolutely love the aardvark covers, that soft matte touch feel. I love them. I had thought about annotating this book, but I just, at no point while I was listening to it did I feel like I needed to annotate anything. And there has literally been one thing that, like, one little quote that has happened, and that's it. So If I give this a 3 star, I'll keep it. If I give it less, it's gotta go. It's gotta go. I am not gonna waste the space on my freaking shelf for this book if it is less than a 3 star. Absolutely not. I don't care how beautiful it is. Like, I just, oh, this makes me so mad. I will check in. I think, unless something crazy, crazy, wild and crazy kids happens, the next check in you're gonna see is gonna be the final clip for this vlog. It'll be me wrapping it up, letting you know what I ended up thinking about the Starving Saints, and sending you off because Summerween's over. Well, the Gabby Reed's version of Summerween is over. We've got more Summerween after this, thankfully, because this one got away from me. Where did it go? I don't know. It got away from me. I will see you guys with my last update for the Starving Saints. Hello, I am back. It's Saturday. I have finally finished this book. It took me 3 days to read this book. 3 days. Three. And I am rating it 2.5 stars. I am so upset because, one, by all of the things that I like, I should have loved this book. It's medieval, it's supposed to be fever dreamy, it's horror, there's supposed to be like weird shit going on, there's some sapphicness in it, and yet, and it's like you took this premise that could have been great, and what happened? It dragged on. Half the time I didn't know what the hell was going on, and I kept thinking I was missing things, and I actually ended up going back, like, for the last 40% of the book. I reread it because I was convinced that I was missing something. I was not. This book was so slow and boring. I literally went to sleep. I had to stop reading this book so I could take a nap. Oh my gosh, and I'm so upset because this book is so beautiful. This edition is just, oh, and it's an aardvark book, so I already loved it anyway because their covers have that soft matte touch, and this book, it has that soft matte touch, and it's beautiful. I love it so much. I want to keep it, but I don't know. I don't know because it's not even a 3 star book. It's not even a 3 star. And the more I think about it, the more it's like it. And I can't say that it's a poorly written book. It's not. I don't know, actually. I feel like it's not a poorly written book, but at the same time, the pacing suffered. Oh my god. I've read other books where the pacing is intentionally slow, and perhaps that is what this is supposed to be. Maybe it's supposed to be intentionally slow, but it's intentionally slow, or it's slow with nothing happening for most of the time. Like, you're just getting little crumbs here and there of things that's going on, and it's infuriating, but it's also extremely boring, and it's like you're just hanging on until you get that next thing, and the next thing is like not even worth it. So Japanese Gothic is also very slow and drawn out, but I just feel like there is so much more going on in that book. I think it's longer than this one, and it took me less time for one, but it also didn't feel like a long read. I was so hooked, and so, like, there was so much keeping my attention that I stayed up late to read that book. I stayed up until like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning to finish that book. It was really good. This, after about 30%, I wanted it to be over. Then I got to the 50% mark, and I was like, I had only just finished, like, I had only just gotten to the point where the synopsis ends. And I knew I was in trouble then. But I was already halfway through. I was curious how, the entire time I was curious how it was going to end. That, I will give you that. But the rest of the time, man, oh man. So I really don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with this book because it's beautiful. I want to keep it on my shelf, but every time I look at it, it just pisses me off. What do I do? Do I keep this book that I think is a work of art and is beautiful? And I mean, no shade to Aardvark, okay? It's not like, they wrote this book. I'm not upset at Aardvark. I'm actually like, that's the only thing saving it. I feel like that's the 0.5 star or even 1 star because this book is so beautiful. 2 point star, two. I felt like giving this a 1 or 2 star would be unfairly mean because I'm sure this worked for people. And I'm sure there are people out there that enjoyed this. And you know what? Maybe I just don't get it. Maybe I am just not getting it. Maybe I am not the audience for this book, and I can accept that. But also, I did not have a good time. I didn't have a good time, and there were like things with the book itself, like I said, the pacing, the over explaining. Like, I wouldn't necessarily say that the writing was flowery, but there was a lot of superfluous writing, a lot of explaining, a lot of telling, and not a lot of showing to back that up. Also, the lack of action and just. It's like this book is supposed to be about cannibalism. As a matter of fact, T. Kingfisher blurbed this and said, "Holy crap on a stick. This book is messed up in the best way. The Starving Saints broke my brain. It's cannibalism like you've never seen it before." Well, yeah, because you don't really see the cannibalism. I mean, you are made aware of, like, I don't know, it's just calling this a cannibal book is like calling someone who only eats fish a carnivore. Um, I it broke my brain. It broke my brain how bad this was because in no conceivable future did I think that I would detest this book so much. Like I said, medieval. I love medieval times. Medieval, the Tudor era, the Renaissance, the time of Mary Queen of Scots, all of that area and the surrounding areas, for me, that's for me. I love shit set in that time period. And it's a very expansive time period, okay? We're talking about a couple hundred years. Um this the medieval vibes were there. So in that way this was executed flawlessly. The medieval vibes were there. Weird and horror. It was weird, but not in a way that made me happy. It was weird, like, this is a weird choice, and why are we doing this? But it was almost like, especially with like the horror, and I mean, we got some horror and some weirdness at the end. We got some creeping dread and some unsettling points throughout, but it was almost like trying to pull, like I'm at a tug of war with the author trying to pull some horror out, trying to pull some weirdness out, and it wasn't enough, I think is what my issue is. For all of the explaining, for all of the words, for the 352 pages that this book was, there was not enough to warrant it being almost 400 pages. This could have easily been like 150 pages, maybe even 100 pages novella. And I feel like because of that, the book suffered because we're dragging this event out, and I honestly feel like a lot of the book is filler. And now that I'm thinking about it, that makes complete sense. If this was intended to be like a novella, I mean, I'm not saying that. I'm not the author. I don't know. But I'm just saying if this was intended to be a novella and then it's like, oh, you know what? Let's turn it into a novel. Just add some things in here and there. Because for the substance that there was, like the weirdness, the actual action that was happening, that's a novella. This could have been a impactful, gruesome novella, but instead we got 352 pages of lukewarm weirdness. So I'm probably gonna put this book on my Pango. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm gonna sit with it for a little while and we'll see. it's hard for me to let go of it because it's so beautiful. It is so beautiful. It's such a beautiful book. But it's just, I think that adds more insult to it because it's like I wanted to love it so bad. And the whole time I'm reading it, I'm just thinking to myself, I want to love this book so bad. I want to love it. And yeah, it just didn't work out. It'll probably go on my Pango eventually once I've come to terms with the fact that I hated this book. Well, hate is a strong word. I strongly disliked this book, which it's slightly upsetting that I disliked this book because the manga that I read, which I would love to own, I don't own, and instead I own this book. Also, I didn't even get to read the third book that I had wanted. Like I said, that was a low priority, but I did want to read it, and now it was due yesterday, so it'll be going back to the library. But I didn't even get the chance to read it because it took me 3 days to read The Starving Saints. 3 days. And I was reading it for the most part, like especially the first half, I was reading at 1.5, but then the second half, I was reading at like 2.25, 2.5 speed. Because once I picked the book back up, because before that, I was only like immersive reading here and there because I was doing a lot of like housework and stuff while I was listening to the book. But even when I think it was worse when I was immersive reading it because that's when I needed to take a nap. Let me stop harping on how much I hated this book. These are the two books I read for this Summerween vlog. Unfortunately, it was only 2 books because Starving Saints took my whole life. Um, gave The Summer Hikaru Died 5 stars. Volume 7, already talked about it. Starving Saints, 2.5. This vlog was successful in that I did what I set out to do. But the juxtaposition of these 2 books, both of which I had high hopes for, and only The Summer Hikaru Died fulfilled those hopes. It's disappointing. Yeah, it's disappointing. Also disappointing, but it's my own fault, is that my Summerween merch didn't ship until yesterday. That's on me. I forgot about it. Completely forgot. But I mean, I wear this stuff all year long. Once it starts getting cold, I pull out my hoodies. I have another hoodie from, I think, not, because this one is from last year, I think. And I think I have the one from either the year before or the year before that. So it's either 2023 or 2024. And now I'll have 2026. I could not pass up on the 2026 merch. I'm sorry. It was so too cute. But I would have, because I'm literally only wearing this for the video. I'm not wearing this around the house. It's like over 100 degrees outside and like hot in my house. It's summertime, but I so I'm only literally only wearing this for the video, and I couldn't be bothered to pull out the like full hoodie because this is just the cropped and it's super lightweight. The other one is like a full thick hoodie, but that's what I wear during the winter time. Okay, leave me alone. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this, whatever this was. Also, there will be a book haul coming soon, okay? Because what even is happening back here? I got a Pango order and my aardvark book of the month, and I have a book of the month box coming sometime soon. I might wait until then to do it, but it's getting out of control. There's over 30 books there. If you enjoyed whatever this was, please leave me a like. Consider subscribing, coming back, hanging out. I have lots of ideas, lots of things I want to do, and I would love for you to stick around and be a part of that. Um, if you made it this far and you don't have anything to comment about, although you could comment and tell me if you participated in Summerween, what books you read. Have you read these books that I've read? What did you think about them? Especially The Starving Saints. Oh, something else too. If you have a book that's like a beautiful, you just love the edition, and you end up either not liking the book, like it's a 3 star or worse, what do you do? Are you unhauling that book? Are you unhauling it and like letting it go, or are you sitting it on your shelf as like a trophy copy? Let me know, because like I said, I'm really torn. Aside from that, if you don't know what to say, if you don't have any comments, You could just leave me like the bee emoji or the honey emoji, whatever whatever you fancy. I'm gonna go. We're gonna go to the library later, and I'm pretty hyped about that. And I've got more vlogs coming. Keep your eye out for the Goodreads vlog I'm working on, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.